adventurers and story sleuths, to another deep dive into the world where pages come alive and laughter echoes like joyful barks. Today we're plunging headfirst into a global phenomenon that's captured readers of all ages, the ingenious and hilarious world of Dav Pilkey's Dog Man. And we're not just talking about any installment. We're taking on the 13th book, Big Jim Begins.
That's right. We're diving into the latest creation from the brilliant mind behind Captain Underpants, a series that soared to the top of bestseller lists worldwide, carving a special place in the hearts of countless readers. This time, Big Jim Begins invites us to unravel the past of beloved characters as they confront some rather peculiar cosmic villains, the Space Beauties, who are set on wreaking havoc on our cherished city.
So buckle up, folks, because in this deep dive, we're going to tackle those big questions this new book throws at us. Is the fate of our heroes intertwined with their pasts? Will goodness and bravery triumph against this unique intergalactic threat? And the question swirling in our minds, can unwavering belief truly make the unthinkable possible? Talk about a mix of mystery, humor, and feels Pilkey's cooked up for us.
The real magic of the Dog Man series, and especially Big Jim Begins, lies in its signature blend of laugh-out-loud humor and heartfelt life lessons that surprisingly strike a chord with readers. All this, of course, wrapped up in Pilkey's unmistakable narrative and visual style, so sit back, relax, and join us on this journey as we uncover the secrets and key insights of this newest smash hit.
Okay, let's break down this whole dog policeman universe for those who might be new to the series, but also for the hardcore fans who know it inside and out. What was that initial spark that ignited this hugely successful saga and turned it into a global phenomenon?
Well, the idea behind Dog Man is as original as it gets, and I'd say genius in its simplicity. Picture a police officer who suffers a serious accident, and to save his life, he undergoes a transplant, but not just any transplant. He receives the head of a dog. That's how Dog Man is born. A hybrid hero who combines the intelligence and wit of a human detective with canine abilities like an incredible sense of smell and unshakable loyalty. It's a premise so crazy it hooks you from the get-go.
A very unique hero indeed.
Yeah.
And of course, in his daily fight against crime, he's not alone.
Throughout the series, we've met a cast of recurring characters who are now part of our imagination. Who are those partners, and not so partners, in adventure who bring the world of Dog Man to life? Absolutely. We can't forget the cunning and mischievous cat Petey, Dog Man's ultimate nemesis. However, their relationship is far more complex and entertaining than it might seem at first glance. Over the previous 12 installments, we've witnessed their clashes, but we've also seen how their relationship evolves in unexpected ways. And along with them, other characters like Chief and Lil Petey enrich the plots and offer us different perspectives on friendship, responsibility, and even, surprisingly, forgiveness.
And it's no exaggeration to say that Dog Man is a genuine global phenomenon. It's reached the top of bestseller lists in so many countries, and that's no coincidence. What do you think connects so strongly with readers from such diverse cultures and ages? What's the secret to its overwhelming success?
I'd say its success lies precisely in that balanced combination of overflowing creativity and a sense of humor that works perfectly for both children and adults. Moreover, each book, though packed with hilarious situations, always conveys positive messages and important values that resonate deeply with readers. It's a magic formula that Pilkey has mastered brilliantly.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Big Jim Begins. The title itself gives us a clear hint that in this installment, we're traveling back in time to uncover the origins of some of our favorite characters. What's the central conflict that drives the plot in this new adventure? What threat looms over the city this time?
This time around, the city's peace is disrupted by the arrival of the Space Cuties, some not-so-friendly space villains with a mission to, well, destroy the city as we know it. Just imagine those iconic places we hold dear, like the park where Dog Man tirelessly chases his ball, or the most characteristic buildings, in serious danger of disappearing at the hands of these beings from outer space.
What a challenge for our canine hero. But as you mentioned, this book doesn't just narrate the present action. It invites us on a fascinating journey through time. How does this exploration of origins play out in Big Jim Begins? How are we going to discover the secrets of the characters' pasts?
The key lies in the clever use of flashbacks and the unveiling of surprising past events that allow us to understand how some of the main characters met and what life experiences led them to become who they are in the present. It's not just a simple narrative device. Pilkey wants us to reflect on how our early experiences shape our personalities and condition our present decisions. It's a very astute way to add depth to characters who, at first glance, might seem purely comical.
So what does this all mean for us, the readers? Are we going to have those Aha, that's why moments, as we unravel the intricacies of Dogman and Company's past, are we going to better understand their motivations and their ways of being?
Absolutely. I think that's one of the great strengths of Big Jim Begins. It offers us a completely new perspective on characters we thought we knew thoroughly after 12 installments. By discovering their origins, new layers of depth are added to their personalities, and many of their motivations and behaviors are explained. It's as if Pilkey is telling us, you thought you knew everything about them, but there's still many surprises in store for you. It's a resource that greatly enriches the reading experience, both for longtime fans and those approaching the series for the first time.
And of course, with space villains threatening total destruction, the universal themes of goodness and bravery are put to the test. How do these virtues manifest in Dogman when facing the evil Space Cuties? How do his goodness and bravery become his greatest weapons?
Dogman is, in essence, the personification of goodness and bravery. Despite his peculiarity and his inevitable moments of clumsiness, he always puts the well-being of others first and doesn't hesitate for a second to face danger, no matter how big or strange it may be. His nobility of heart and his unwavering determination are his greatest assets against any threat, wherever it may come from. He reminds us in a very fun way that you don't have to be perfect or have spectacular superpowers to be a true hero. Sometimes a good dose of heart and courage are enough.
I love that idea. And to make it more tangible, tell us about a hypothetical scene we can imagine with that characteristic humor of the series, where Dogman puts his bravery and goodness into practice in a, let's say, unorthodox way.
Yeah.
How would Dogman confront the Space Cuties with his particular style?
Well, imagine the Space Cuties deploying their most fearsome weapon. A water-dehydrating ray that threatens to turn all citizens into sand statues. Instead of resorting to a sophisticated shield or high-tech weapon, Dogman would likely try to interpose his own body to absorb the ray, or perhaps try to distract the villains by offering them his favorite bone as a token of friendship. That slapstick humor not only makes us laugh, but also underscores that sometimes the most unexpected solutions, especially those born of good intentions, can be the most effective.
I can picture it perfectly. And the relationship with Petey, which is always a constant tug-of-war full of hilarious moments, surely also has its own twists and surprises in this new adventure. How does that peculiar dynamic evolve in Big Jim Begins? Will we see any glimpse of change in their relationship?
The relationship between Dogman and Petey is undoubtedly one of the fundamental pillars of the series. We've witnessed how their initial enmity has given way to moments of forced collaboration and even, on rare occasions, a glimmer of mutual respect, however brief. In Big Jim Begins, although Petey will surely be up to his usual mischief, it's very likely that we'll see some moment where that complex connection manifests itself in an unexpected way. Perhaps a reluctant help or a disguised concern for the other's well-being. It's a reflection of how even the most difficult relationships can evolve with time and persistence.
This raises an important question. Let's go back to those intriguing questions we posed at the beginning of this deep dive. Will the past be able to predict the future of our characters? After delving into their origins, what does the book suggest about this? Are the characters condemned to repeat the mistakes of the past, or do they have the ability to forge new destiny?
The book explores precisely that fascinating tension between the weight of our past experiences and our inherent ability to choose our own path. Through the stories of the characters' pasts, Pilkey shows us that, while our experiences influence and shape us, they don't have to completely determine us. There's always the possibility of learning from our mistakes, growing as individuals, and making decisions that lead us down paths different from those marked by our past. It's a very hopeful message that underlies the entire narrative.
And the other big question we asked ourselves, can anything happen if you truly believe? How does this idea connect to the crazy universe of Dogman, where a half-human police dog faces alien threats and an evil cat with wacky plans? Is believing in oneself a powerful force in this world?
Dogman is the perfect example that the improbable can become reality if there's deep conviction and unwavering perseverance. His very existence is tangible proof of that. And his heroic acts in the face of seemingly impossible threats reinforce that powerful message about the importance of believing in oneself and the determination to overcome any obstacle that comes our way. If Dogman, with his peculiarity, is capable of achieving incredible feats, why shouldn't we be able to achieve our own challenges with a good dose of belief in our possibilities?
Dav Pilkey is a true master at combining these deep and meaningful themes with a narrative and visual style that hooks young readers, and not so young ones, myself included.
Right.
What would you highlight specifically about his storytelling in Big Jim Begins? What are the key elements of his style that make his book so special?
His ability to intertwine overflowing, sometimes even absurd humor with important messages and reflections on friendship, loyalty, and self-improvement is truly admirable. The vibrant and detailed illustrations bring the story to life in a unique and very attractive way, and his dynamic, agile, and energetic narrative style connects directly with today's audiences. It's no coincidence that the series is a global phenomenon. Pilkey knows how to touch the heartstrings of his readers through endearing characters and hilarious situations, always leaving a seed of reflection.
And for those of us who enjoy the thrilling adventures of Dogman on the pages of books, there's exciting news on the horizon. A movie is in the works. What can you tell us about this film adaptation?
That's right. DreamWorks Animation and Universal Pictures are working on an animated Dogman movie. Imagine seeing our favorite heroes jump to the big screen with all their characteristic energy and humor. It will undoubtedly be an incredible cinematic event for all fans of the series. And to continue enjoying Pilkey's creative universe, we can't forget the Cat Kid Comic Club series, starring the endearing Flippy and Lil Petey, and the Dogman with Love coloring book, an invitation to unleash our own creativity inspired by these beloved characters.
We've reached a pivotal moment in our deep dive. After this detailed analysis of Big Jim Begins, what are those main ideas, those important reflections that our listeners should take home with them? What lessons can we learn from this new Dogman adventure?
I think there are several key points worth highlighting. Firstly, the valuable lesson that our past influences us, yes, but it doesn't define us immutably. We always retain the ability to choose our own path and build a different future. Secondly, the immense power of goodness and bravery, even when faced with seemingly insurmountable challenges. Thirdly, the crucial importance of believing in oneself and the possibility of achieving goals that might seem impossible at first. And lastly, the idea that even in the most fun and seemingly crazy stories, we can find valuable lessons about friendship, responsibility, and forgiveness, themes that are in fact very present throughout the wonderful Dogman series.
To wrap up this journey into the fascinating universe of Dogman 13, Big Jim Begins, let's go back for a moment to those initial questions that guided us. Do you believe now, after this immersion in its pages, that the past has the power to predict the future of our beloved heroes? Do you trust that goodness and bravery will once again prevail against the Space Cuties' mischief? And what about that inspiring idea that if you truly believe with all your heart, anything can happen?
We invite each and every one of our listeners to reflect on these questions as they dive into the exciting pages of this new book, because undoubtedly, the best way to experience firsthand the adventure, humor, and heart that Big Jim Begins holds is to get carried away by its reading and discover all its surprises for yourself.
Absolutely. So if you're curious, and we sincerely hope you are, don't hesitate to get your own copy of Dogman 13, Big Jim Begins. With its 224 full-color pages, hours and hours of guaranteed fun await you, and who knows, maybe even some valuable reflection.
And finally, I'd like to leave you with one last question to ponder. How do you think your own origins and deepest beliefs are shaping your present and your future? Can you recall a specific time in your life when firmly believing in something that seemed improbable led to a surprising outcome? I encourage you to explore the incredible power that lies within your own potential. Until our next deep dive.